So that World Cup win is a French win and a West African win.
Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H.
So yeah, I wanted to do this video. So this is almost a follow-up to the Ozil thing. And this was about France and their World Cup win. Now, I always said that my fellow Africans, especially my fellow West Africans, so my Guinean boys, Cameroonian boys, Ivorian boys, and so forth, my Congolese boys, brothers, you can't take that France win as your win. I'm sorry. Those dudes, they are French. They're French because they decided to play for France. And I think it's a loser's mentality to say Africa have won the World Cup, because no, that should anger you. If I'm Congolese, I should be angry. Damn, Kante should be with us. If I'm Guinean, I'm like, damn, Pogba should be playing for us. So if you're those countries like that, if only they were playing under our flag and for our country. But I was watching what Trevor Noah said and how he responded to the French minister. The French minister, you got owned by Trevor Noah there. And it goes to the whole thing point I'm making about we live in a globalist society and about dual citizenship. Pogba, of course, he's French, he speaks French, and he's French. Have you seen how his mom dresses? Have you seen how he dances? Have you seen how he talks, his mannerisms? That's not French. That's West Africa. That's Guinea. Okay, like his mannerisms, the way he flows and carries himself is Guinean. When you look at Kante, you look at his family, you look at how he, carries himself. That's the hallmarks of being brought up from the West African society, linked into being Congolese. So when the French minister says, no, why are you linking Africa to this and so forth and everything? It's colonization, my dear friend, my dear French minister friend. It's colonization. That's the results of colonization, because France, you colonize those African countries. You've embedded them into your society. And the sick thing is this. France have racism, man, especially in Paris, especially in Paris, there's racism there. And it's like, whenever these blacks do bad things, it's the immigrants, you bring up the racism. But whenever they now do well for France, oh no, they're French. Keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. That's all I ask for. So, because when I just look at France and the way that they were rolling, the way that they were playing, it's like their key players were the African boys. Those were their key players. And you would be foolish to escape the fact that that French World Cup is as a result of colonization. Same thing with the 98 one. Desailly, Thuram, Henry, and so forth. Throw in Zidane there as well. So, France, it goes back to the whole thing of the dual citizenship. These guys, of course, they embrace France and they fully embrace being French. But culturally, they've not forgotten their African roots. So that World Cup win is a French win and a West African win. It's a French win and a West African win. It simply is. And France have benefited from colonization. So they simply have. France going into these African countries, introducing the French language, the French way of life, and these countries having now a connection with France as well. Coming into France, having to hustle through, because remember, man, those guys that do not have the talents that Pogba, Umtiti, and Kante have, and are struggling to find a job, their experience is very different. They're not seen as French. They're seen as the immigrants. Because again, what positive thing have you done? And I think that's the saddest thing. Unless you do something positive for the country, you're seen as French. If you don't, you're struggling to find a job, you're struggling to find work, you're struggling to educate yourself, now you're the immigrant. And that is the reality. So I first think that for Macron, the French minister, and so forth, to call this purely a French win, nah, I mean, you can't do that. Because you see, like, it's different from Germany where, Ozil, he's one of the best players there and everything, but France, out and out, the best player for France was Conte and Mbappe. Mbappe and Conte were arguably the best players for France. They can throw in Pogba as well. So the critical players were Conte. You can throw in Varane there as well, and Umtiti. But so the guys that were really critical for them: Varane, Conte, Pogba, Mbappe, and those guys have that African ancestry. I'm not sure where Varane is from initially, but I think Varane. I think he's mixed race. But again, you look at Conte, Pogba, and Mbappe were crucial. France don't sniff that World Cup without Pogba, Conte, and Mbappe. And those guys, so what's it called? Mbappe was asked to play for Cameroon, but I read a story where like Cameroon were asking his dad to pay a fee for him to play for Cameroon. Look, it's messed up. Look, that's a whole other conversation about how things go down in West Africa. But that's the thing there as well. And also just even an other thing as well. Like, I hate when people say Africa won the World Cup and how people teach Africa as a country. And I think, just something that grates me. Nigerian culture is very different from Congolese culture. Congolese is very different from Ghanaian culture. We have different foods, different ways of life. We have similar things, but we're very different. Do you know how different a West African is from an East African? How we look, how we look, our bone structure, our culture, the way we approach ourselves. I always say this: there's nobody in Africa that is anywhere close to like a Nigerian. Nigerians are from a whole different continent of themselves. Nobody on the planet are like Nigerians. No one are like Nigerians. We're just different. We're built differently from everyone else. So don't lump us in with like, the African. No. And then you talk about blood guys in North Africa and blood in South Africa as well. So, but I think, hence when I just say for France, it's not an African thing. It's a West African thing, because West Africa are very particular. Culturally, how we look, the food that we have, the music that we're into, how we carry ourselves. West Africa, those countries, Cameroon, Ghana, Guinea, Senegal, Nigeria, and so forth, are very particular. And that France World Cup is a West African and a French World Cup. Fully. 100% it's French and West African. So I think it's very silly and ignorant for the French to now say, oh no, they're French, and this is only for France, and it has nothing to do with West Africa. Really? For me, I just basically look at Pogba's mother. Don't look at Pogba. All you need to do is just look at her. Like, that is a woman who, I don't give a damn what it says on her passport. That woman is still Ghanaian. That woman is still from her bloody country. She's not forgotten her roots at all. She's not forgotten her roots at all. So when you see how her mother carries them and how she operates, how are you not going to say this is just purely French, But that's what for me as a Nigerian, I look at the France World Cup and, it makes me sad. It does make me sad because I'm like, wow, what Africa could be if what the West African countries could do if they had their bloody act together. Better organization, actually caring about the country and actually investing money into, because that's what I'm trying to explain to people. Football is important. This World Cup is not about football. It's not only about football, it's about your country. Because this is the biggest stage. So you performing well here puts your country in a positive light, gets the world to now know about your country, learn about your country, and that permeates you into improving the country as well, because it probably boosts tourism, gets people more interested in your country. The only reason why I know about Croatia, Romania, Serbia, flipping South Korea, all these countries was through the World Cup. Like, just as a young guy living in Nigeria, like I never left the bloody, I never left Nigeria and everything. So when I saw the first World Cup, how I knew about countries and their names and so forth was through the World Cup. So I was like, oh wow, how come all these guys, their names end in V or end in C and everything? And I learned about countries through the World Cup. So countries that like, what else do you know Argentina for? Let's be real. What else do you know Argentina for? Apart from football, what else do we know Argentina for? I'll wait. So that's why as I said again, like it's Senegal should have an amazing team. Senegal should have won at least 1 or 2 World Cups. The amounts of quality Senegalese players that have been through France, if Senegal kept them, developed them, coached them well, Senegal should have won 1 or 2 World Cups already, based on the talents that they have. You know, so but yeah, just back to the original point is tell the whole story. That's just what I hate when people don't tell the full story. And I hate people having double standards. If they're French, let them be French 24/7. Let everybody like this, that looks like Pogba, Umtiti, and so forth, be treated the same way that other French people are. But they're not. You know, they're not. So when they go out there and do the business for France, call them French and Guinean. Call them French and Congolese. Call them French and Ivorian. You know. But just on the last thing, and I say this to people who are not from Africa and everything, educate yourself. Don't be ignorant and in a conversation say, "Oh, I'd like to go to Africa." No. How are things in Africa? That's you being stupid and being ignorant. Because what does it mean by saying, "Oh, yeah, let me go to Europe. Let me see some European guys. Let me be in Europe." No. There are countries with. Because even if it's very stupid that there are countries, this is a conversation I actually had with Danny T. Why should we even have countries? But fair enough. We have different cultures, different ways of life, and so forth. But the thing about it is that, there are countries and different styles and different things. So respect the content as you would respect Europe and South America and so forth. And that's why I'm so glad that I have this panel and this platform as a Nigerian. And I've not lost my accent. I've still maintained my accent because when I went to school in England, I was teased and abused for my accent and made fun of. And I was like, you know what, now I'm going to double down and keep my accent. I'm not going to assimilate and have an English accent because my identity as a Nigerian is hugely important to me. It's hugely important to me. The country has issues. There's a lot of problems. But one thing that I literally need, like I need my Nigerian identity for better or for worse. So the contrary was, I'm fully Nigerian 100%. I need that identity because that is what I identify with. You know, that is what I am. I'm nothing more than Nigerian. Yes, there's some Brazilian in there on my mom's side, but I am a bloody Nigerian. So, but just overall, man, it's like, see, that France World Cup win, I know it won't, but, you know, the Congolese president, Ivorian president, Senegalese president should just look at that and be like, I should look at Pogba, Kante, Unzonzi, you know, Umtiti, Mbappe. They should look at all of them and be like, why can't we develop these boys here? Why should we keep allowing them to go away to France and so forth? We should make a country better, put some money into all these programs, especially football, because it is such a huge global sport. Because it's so crazy. Like, it is so easy. You pump that money into football, get into a World Cup, let that country perform well. It improves the profile of your country. It gets people now interested in looking at your country, wanting to visit your country, wanting to research your country. And it increases your tourism and how your country is perceived. So everybody wins. Thank you for watching this video. Think about pledging and become a Half Football Hot patron. Pledge an amount each month and gain access to exclusive videos from your boy, the Football Hot, for more analysis. Peace.